Hello and welcome to the Global Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we release a new video 3 times a week. Today we're working with the high slit on the palazzo pants. Now we're going to show you everything. Some things will be done behind the cameras and something will be done in front of the cameras, so you will understand the whole process. These pants are beautiful, fashionable, and quite trendy. We will make them and it will lift our spirits. So here's the back part of the pants. We have taken the left side of the back part. On the half of the seam allowance, we applied the interfacing. If you have a very light linen or cotton fabric, apply the interfacing on another half to the middle in the same way. But don't do it on 2 parts because the result would be too rigid. Next, here's the front part of the pants. We did the basting stitches right here. We placed the interfacing from the basting stitch to the edge. What are we going to do? Now we fold it like this and cut these little corners. Natasha will pin it together so that our slit is not a rectangular shape on the wrong side, but so that it has a little angle. You see how we fold it, making sure that the edges are aligned. Do not make this angle too sharp. It will be very difficult to overlock this notch. Take 1 centimeter. Let's see what we've got. The front half now has a little angle, but the back half is a little more complicated. The line goes down and up. We need to overlock this part very carefully. We will take a little break and overlock everything behind the cameras and show it to you afterwards. Now I will show you what we have done. Look, we have overlocked both edges. And here in this place we turned and went down. Also, we overlocked the edges of the front part. And now look what we have done. We pinned the side seam with the side seam, applied the interfacing to the part for a zipper, we marked the part from where we will start to stitch the side seam. The invisible zipper we will sew in later. I want you to understand that we have to think everything through beforehand because such work will make us feel good, being that everything is clear and exact. We prepared the seam for the zipper, marked where to start our side seam from, and now we don't need to think about when to stop during stitching. Now we'll stitch the side seam from here and go to this point, but look at what we do next. We align the basting stitches together, absolutely point to point. You see that we pinned everything and checked it over so that we've got it exactly the same. Why? Because we're going to use it from that point to this one with a regular stitch, and then increase the length of the stitch to maximum. Why are we doing this? Because we're going to remove this stitch, but meanwhile we can work with the seam to iron it with precision and make it perfect. Pay attention. Should we start at the bottom? We will take the stitch length number 4. It is so cold in our workshop. We turned the heater onto 27 centigrades. Still, it's very cold. It is Russian winter, you know. something happened to the roof, but for our dear subscribers, we are ready to work under any conditions. Stop 1 centimeter before that added seam for the slit. Backstitch to lock the seam in place. And then continue with the regular stitch to the invisible zipper mark. You can make not only pants with high slits, but also dresses or linen shirts. You can make a pretty shirt dress with that slit, with buttons on one or both sides. Oh, it's pretty. Out of this story, I came out the luckiest. I will have unexpectedly 2 palazzo pants. Now we're going to go to the pressing table, and we will show you how it looks at this stage. We iron the front part of the slit toward the front pant leg. The back part of the slit will be here on top. Even though we don't need this fold on the back part, we have to press the seam open anyways. It will help us find the exact line. Now fold it along the basting stitch. Do you see how helpful the basting stitches are? Apply more pressure now by pressing. Natasha will move it forward a little so everybody can see it. The buttons will be on the front part. Well, the buttonholes on the front and the button themselves on the back part. But when everything is buttoned up, it will all be in the front. And from the slit to the zipper, we will press open the side seam. On the right side, without the zipper, stitch the side seam to the waistline and press it open on all lengths. The invisible zipper will be sewed on the left side. Look how beautiful everything is. We made everything technologically correct, so therefore beautifully. Press the seam on the right side as well. Let's go to the machine. Here we will have a lock stitch through all the layers, so it will be visible on the right side. I recommend marking and basting it first, only then can it be turned over to the right side. Natasha is already rushing to stitch it, But no, we're not doing it for ourselves, but for you. We have to make everything very clear. When the opening of the slit is sewn, it is much easier to work. Nothing moves out of place. Very nice. Don't fasten these edges here in any way. On one side it will be held by buttonholes and on the other by the buttons. Wait till the review of the finished garment, and then you'll see it all. Do you see how you need to baste it first? Next, I'd like to say, if you want to fasten it here, you can make a decorative stitch here along the slit on the right side. Some may like to fasten this edge with the blind stitch by. We don't do anything about it. You will see in the finished garment that those edges will be held by buttonholes and buttons. Lock stitch here on the right side. I already see everyone with such high slits. I just remembered the old saying of our workshop. What is a slit on the side? Not all is lost. A slit on the back is follow me. I don't remember anymore what was the slit in the front, but it's okay. We remember what the slit on the side is, that not all is lost. Fasten the slits on both sides with the lock stitch. We cannot sew the pants that will fall apart on us. Remove the basting thread. It is only 5 centimeters. I could say that after we remove the stitch closing the slit that the slit is ready. But we have to finish the hem first. That is why we're going to stitch and iron the inseam of the pants behind the cameras, and afterwards we will start with the hem. We showed everything to you step by step. The top of the slit is ready. The inseam is stitched. Now we will straighten the bottom and overlock it. Use the ruler. Make the edges nice and clean. We have to cut off just a few millimeters, but we have to do it to make everything perfect. Let's undo the beginning of the stitch, so it will be more clear for you. Now Natasha will overlock the hem. This is what the slit looks like on the wrong side. Next, our hem is 6 centimeters. We put the basting stitch along the folding line. When you have to do the corners, this step is very important. We have to strive for perfection. And we pressed on the folding line. So we overlocked the bottom, put the basting stitches 6 centimeters from the edge, folded the hem and pressed it on the folding line. And now we're continuing to work. Next, we do this part of the slit. Please pay attention. We have these two overlocked edges meet in this point. We have to mark exactly this cross point on both sides. Now, Natasha will do it. Now turn it inside out and fold the right sides together so our marks will match. You do not have to calculate the angle. Just join these marks from the right side to the right. And then Natasha will show you. Now mark this point again on the wrong side. Let's do it with the marker. This is the point where our two marks meet. Here's the pin. If you've done everything correctly, our corner will always fall on this fold. Always. If you have made any mistake by finding at these 2 points, it could happen that the corner will not go on the fold, but we've done everything correctly. We've got a corner right in the fold on all the right sides. So now we'll show you what to do next. Everything is simple. Connect the corner and this point with a straight line. Now we're going to stitch from here to here. Turn it back. Don't cut anything yet. Check it. Check first. If you've done it right, this corner will always be perfect. We see that everything is good. Turn it inside out again and remove the excess, leaving a 1 centimeter along the stitching line. Little notch here at the point. Now I'll show how to open these seams flat and turn them inside. Make sure that this stitch is open on the inside. We are showing you the finest details of the sewing techniques. Sometimes we are getting accused of talking too much, but we work as well. We're not going to press it now. Let's do the second corner. Exactly the same way, here are our 2 folds. Here's the folds of the hem. Here's the folds of the slit. Here's a point where they meet. Mark this place, then turn it out with the right sides together and stitch with the straight line from point to point. Everything is very simple. We have a lot of new people coming to us. A lot of them are college graduates, and they don't have the basic skills. What did they learn there? Our viewers know it all. Now you know how to find these points. Stitch it. I remember everyone who hasn't seen how to hem with the blind stitch. See that? It's very important. Here we will hem with the blind stitch. I could see from a kilometer away if it is not done right. We did everything right and Natasha checks. Everything is perfect. We turn it inside out after checking and then remove the excess and go to the ironing table. Look at this beautiful angle. We show this moment especially for you. Make sure that the seam inside is properly laid out. The second corner. I think this is the prettiest slit ever, and who will have the most beautiful slit? It is me. Now, we will not baste the folds of the hem now. Natasha will pin everything, because I cannot wait any longer to show you the slit of the whole length. Then we will sew with the blind stitch. You can see a masterclass about it. These are not our pants yet. It's just one pant leg. See, our slit starts right here, but we can make it higher. I'll have 6 buttons here. Wait for the review of the finished garment. I hope that by the time we do it, all of you will already have the perfect slits. Now it's time to say goodbye. I wish you the best of luck. Click the like button and share our videos on social media and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Paukšte Irina Mihailovna and the rest of our team.